morning, Dubai. Welcome back to the Lovin Dubai show. Our top story today: Dubai comes together to donate as earthquake death toll has crossed 11,000.
And we'll also talk about Emirati crew rescue a Syrian family from the destroyed Turkish home.
Drivers take note, there are major roads to close across the city today.
And after all the news updates, we'll be sitting on the show with Namratas Sharma, a UAE Cricket anchor, and all about that as well.
But before we get into all of that, an interesting little discussion right before the show. Shahir asked me for some money. Joking. Here's how we're working. We're asking, do you lend money to friends?
I didn't even flinch when you said that. And I'm like, that is so possible. Yeah.
No one else. Do you lend money to friends?
Do you lend money to friends? I would say, I mean, personally, I always have this one rule that is you should never lend to friends or borrow from friends because it can get so tricky. What do you think?
You should never
you should never lend or borrow with friends. Like you shouldn't go there. You shouldn't even go there.
My dad had the saying, nor borrower nor lender be.
Yeah.
So like never borrow, never lend, but sometimes you need to. Now I would rather ask my family for money than friends. So I would never reach out to a friend and ask for money. And I know friends that have been stuck before.
Yeah.
And I've offered and they're like, no, I'm just gonna ask my sister. There's this weird thing with friends. However, I'm always inclined to give and then to not even expect it back if they don't need.
I feel like, see, what you're saying there, like it's so valid, like these points. So if you're lending money, you should lend an amount that you know if you don't receive back, like you're fine with it, right? Like never exceed, like for example, if I know my capacity is only like 3,000, I shouldn't be going well above like to 6 or 10,000. And then like when I don't get it back, I'm just like sitting there hating on the person or like wondering when I'm getting it back because you don't know their financial circumstances or whatever it is, you know, like with friends, it gets so tricky. But like personally, like you said, with family, it's just like, I don't know, that understanding, that a little bit of like leeway is there as well.
Yeah,
right?
I think if they're like close friends, then like all of the kind of money awkwardness goes out the window because money can be an awkward subject. I was listening to a podcast and it's like if you spend 40 hours with a person, you are casual friends. Exactly, and that's quite long.
40 hours in what, in a year?
Over the course of your life, if you spend 40 hours with someone and you hang out with them on a basis, you're casual friends. If you spend 100 hours with them, you are good friends, like you are good friends, and then over 200 hours you've hit that great friend, we are family mark, right? But it's actually very hard to get there. Do you really know someone after 40 hours? So when that 40-hour friend comes along and they ask for money, you're thinking, don't you have a 200-hour friend that you could ask? But if the 200-hour friend comes along, I'm like, here's my bank, take the details, I'm not even going to ask for it back, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know, I get it, but I don't know. I feel like it's like person to person, case by case, because I know for a fact, I personally would never go up to a friend to ask for money. Like, be it a partner, be it a really close friend, like it's just not going to happen. Like my first person the first source I would go to ask for money would be family, like my sister, my mom, or my dad, but it would not be a friend.
Same.
But I feel like for others, it's the opposite. Like they don't want to, it's like what kind of a relationship they have with their family as well. So it's like if it's a very like awkward space or whatever issues it is, like they go to their friends and like they think of their friends first. Right?
And I know people that have been done over by lending money to friends before and the friendships have just filtered out and then you don't want to ask. You know, you're never going to ask your friend for money, but you would just expect that they're going to give it back to you. It's an awkward one. Money in friendships is always awkward. Try and keep it out.
And it definitely gets awkward. It's not just that. It's even when you go out and you like spend, like you go out eating together, and it's like one day I pay the bill, one day you pay the bill, and it's just like a continuously you've been paying the bills for a number of times.
Yeah.
And then the other person just never like steps in.
Or you go for drinks and there's 6 people doing a round and there's always that one person who doesn't go for their round. We know who you are.
Yeah.
Oh, everyone knows. No one's saying it, but everyone knows.
That you mean like when you go Dutch, right?
So if you're doing like rounds, then like one person will pay for the first and the second person will pay for the second. And
rounds of right. Yeah.
Anyway.
And then when you go Dutch, like there are so many ways like people dodge paying bills when out in groups. But yeah, I think like everyone knows.
We
but
all
like
know.
Casey said, no one says anything.
As always, thank you for joining the Lovin Dubai show. We're going to jump into our top stories, and do stay tuned because we're talking all things cricket later in the show. But our first story is the amazing Dubai community come together in the time of need. So the Turkish consulate in both Dubai and Abu Dhabi have extended their donation drives as Dubai continues to come together in droves to share the load as we watch a massive tragedy unfold. So over 11,000 people have now died so far as search and rescue workers continue to work in freezing conditions. The rescue operations continue from the quake, which has also left 300,000 people displaced from their homes.
So further official channels for donations in the UAE are now up and running, with both Emirates Red Crescent and volunteer.ae preparing donation and packaging plans to send aid to the people in need. And as well as that, Emirati crew rescue a Syrian family from their destroyed Turkish home. We'll get into that later. But speaking more on Red Crescent, like the volunteer places.
Exactly. So what we've seen is the government level relief planes going out, and then also on a personal level, and you can actually get in touch with Emirates Crescent via volunteers.ae. It's a platform open to everyone from the UAE. You can get in touch. Their campaign will begin with the packaging of the initial aid from Saturday, February 11th from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. That's in the Abu Dhabi National Exhibition Centre, ADNEC, and also here in Dubai at the Dubai Exhibition Centre at Expo City, Dubai. Donations can be made in cash and in kind over the course of 2 weeks. And those interested in contributing to the campaign can register via volunteers.ae, and these are all official donating platforms.
Exactly, and we've seen the just the devastation that's taken over this country, and honestly, even the smallest contribution can mean so much to them. So whatever little you can do, please do contribute, and please do get in touch with them and see how you can help. But our next story is Emirati crew rescue a Syrian family from their destroyed Turkish home. And on the ground in Turkey, the UAE's Gallant Night 2 operation saved a Syrian family from the wreckage. Now, the mother, son, and 2 daughters of a Syrian family were rescued from the ruins of their fallen home by Emirati search and rescue crew. And the search and rescue crew was accompanied by the Emirates news agency WAM. According to the operation, which took place in the province and lasted for more than 5 hours before the family was saved.
Thankfully, and the images are truly heartbreaking. The Emirati search and rescue team's great efforts and high level of professionalism during the process of pulling the family members from under the rubble were thanked and appreciated by the family's friends and relatives who were present at the scene of the collapsed home. I think what we're seeing is just so devastating. My mum was talking about an interview she saw with a woman who was looking at the sight of, her 6 children who were at that point lost, and it makes everything else seem so small in comparison. So our thoughts and prayers are truly with everyone affected by the earthquake.
Exactly, and we also see stories of just such beautiful moments, with like families and siblings and just like the community helping each other. Like I saw this one post of a sister really like protecting her brother and holding up something from collapsing on his body, like until they were rescued. And these kind of stories, they really, I don't know, they speak to you, they touch you, right? Like you think of your problems and you think like, oh my God, like proper first world problems you think of on a daily basis, like, oh, I forgot to turn on the water heater last night, and just like, oh my God, what is life? And then you go on the internet and it gives you such a slap on your face. Like this is the hard reality for so many lives, so many people, like, family members missing, like injuries, just fatalities. And it's just like, it's such a reality check.
And I know, I don't know about you, but I feel beyond blessed to be here in this city. We're so lucky. So if you want to get involved with those donation drives, they're happening. They're picking up all weekend. Emirates Red Crescent, volunteers.ae if you want to get involved, and we recommend you do so. Next up, major roads to close across the city today. So drivers take note. The UAE Tour Women's Cycling event taking place across the country over 4 days, and the RTA has announced the routes, which means some drivers might need to take alternative ones.
Exactly, so check out the route map for details on the UAE Tour Women 2023 held on Thursday, February 9th from 1:30 p.m. to 5 p.m. So please be advised that during the race, traffic will be temporarily suspended for 10 to 15 minutes at specific street intersections while runners are passing.
And then areas include Port Rashid, Dubai Festival City, Ras Al Khor, Damac Hills, Dubai Sports City, and JVC will be affected. So if there are any of the areas that you'll be passing between 1:30 and 5 p.m., take note, you might need to take an alternative route. The road closures are from 10 to 15 minutes, so it's not actually a huge amount of time. But as we know, traffic can build up. I was stuck in traffic yesterday. It was painful.
Oh my God.
A little bottleneck. I know. It's a little bottleneck, so just be aware and you can actually avoid the traffic with pre-planning.
But that's great. It just comes back to the point of like how organized the city is in terms of just like announcements and letting us know all this information well beforehand. Because honestly, I mean, India is great. Like, it is amazing. But when it comes to things like this, events and stuff, the updates come in very late. As in, like, this road will be closed, this road will be blocked, this road will, like, you know, take some other route. Like, the updates do come in to the public quite, like, I think last minute. But over here, it's like 24 hours in advance. You get the notice, like, okay, this area for 15 minutes will be closed. So divert or take, you know, another route.
And also, good luck to all the cyclists taking part. It's a massive cycling tour. It'll have some of the best in the region. So if you want to get out and support, of course, do that. I feel like sometimes, like when they have like marathons here and stuff like that, like sometimes they don't get the huge kind of like New York marathon feel. But we could do that. We could get out and support our athletes.
Exactly.
You know,
that's so true. In other countries, you really do get out and you cheer and like you're out on the streets. But over here, you see a little less of that. But I mean,
it's because there are so many
marathons that take place,
big events taking place.
Yeah.
We have the Dubai Marathon coming up, by the way. I'm going to get you the dates. It's happening Sunday, 12th of February. So if you are training for that, we are with you from here. A massive good luck, but that's obviously going to be huge. I'm sure there'll be some road closures there to be aware of, but super exciting. Dubai is famously flat. It's not too hilly, so people can get fast times here. And they've got champions returning for the race. So Bekil, Kuma, Apra, they're going to challenge the Dubai Marathon. These are some of the world's fastest runners, so it's going to be amazing. So if you want to get on the streets and before them, it's happening in 2 hours, 2 days, 21 hours, 16 minutes and 30 seconds.
Whoa, that's very precise.
Yes, thank you very much, DubaiMarathon.org.
You know the visual I'm getting right now when you're like out and supporting? I'm just seeing like people running on the streets like Dubai Run. All the roads are closed and people just like out of their balconies waving flags and whistling and cheering.
So great.
Right? Imagine that visual like actually happens.
Imagine actually being cheered for.
Oh my God.
Imagine that.
That's such a boost. Like if you would even want to slow down, that energy and that push.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, do they have like a shorter race one could join? Or how many hours do you need to train for a marathon?
You know,
anyone watching right now training, do you think Simran and I could make a go of it?
Okay, maybe not a marathon, but I would so go trekking. It's the perfect weather to go trekking.
But we're talking about the cheers and the applause. We want to be on that street. We want to be taking the praise of the runners for ourselves.
I'll pass.
But I'm just wondering if we could do it too. Okay, jumping from running into cricket, we were super lucky. We had Namrata Sharma, who is the UAE Cricket anchor. She joined the show to talk all things cricket in the UAE. She's going to be with us right after this. Welcome back to the Lovin Dubai show. Today we are joined by Namrata Sharma, a cricket anchor. She's also a fitness lover, a model, and an incredible presenter with a dynamic range of skills. She's making waves and turning heads. Welcome to the show, Namrata. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you, guys. It's such a pleasure to be here. And yeah, I'm so excited and pumped up for today.
So you're basically like, you know, jack of all trades. So tell us about yourself. Who is Namrata Sharma?
Well, Namrata Sharma is just your girl next door who's trying to, you know, make an identity for herself, make it big in the industry, and just someone who wants to, like, you know, really, really inspire all the young boys and girls out there who want to, like, you know, do something abnormal from the society and the conventions. So yeah, I mean, I have like quite a story if I can elaborate, and that will tell you why exactly and how exactly I'm here today.
Well, this is the thing. We're here for the story. We're here for how you got into cricket specifically.
Right.
But let's go. You have the floor.
So I must say how I was, you know, like one of the most introvert and shy and underconfident, ugly, fat-looking kid in my school. And I would always feel like, you know, I never fit in and I don't have many friends and I don't know, like, you know, what am I going to do and this and that. But I always knew that I want to have like unique choices. I want to do something different. I want to like, do something unconventional in life. I knew I had this really deep creativity part in me, which I wanted to definitely explore as a career and, be doing that for all my life. And that's what happened. Like whenever, kids choose left, I choose right. Kids choose black, I would choose white. So that's how it was always has been, and that's what made me realize that there's something definitely not wrong about me, but it's just that I want to do something different and unique, and that's what my choices already made me do. So I then finally decided that I want to, like, because of the creativity side, take up interior designing as a profession, and I started my BSc, like my bachelor's in science degree in interior design, while I started getting modeling offers. Now, it was the first ever ramp show that I was offered by my college principal itself. And I was like, ma'am, like, why are you doing this with me? I don't think it's a good idea, because my normal walk is also like a man sometimes. I'm so underconfident. I don't like the limelight. I don't like the stage. I can't do it. And she was like, no, you know what? I believe in you and you can do it. Give it a thought and just give it a shot. So I was like, okay, let's maybe, like what's the worst that can happen? I might like trip on the ramp and make a fool out of myself, but at least I won't regret the decision of not ever doing it in my life. I did it. I loved it so much that I wanted to just, explore it much more and see what's out there for me, and see, how much can I really like make this happen for me. And then there was like this one night, I still remember, in my bed, I could not sleep. I just woke up all night and I was exploring about models all over the world, and what do they do, how do they talk, how do they walk, what do they eat, things like that. And then just literally next morning, I hit the gym. I signed up for a professional course for modeling and went on for like Miss India and stuff like that. And I started getting modeling offers and acting jobs. And there was no looking back since then. And probably 4 or 5 years later, when I had done a lot of modeling assignments, from ramp to prints to campings, everything that's out there back in India, in Bombay. And I started realizing how all the uncle and aunties you meet on the daily basis, they all ask you just one question, that beta TV pe kab aa rahe ho?
Oh,
so that was my
like,
breaking...
when are you gonna come on TV? And
yeah, that was my breaking point.
I was like, something totally different.
Yeah, I was like, if you want to make an identity in this career, nobody really understands what modeling is, what fashion industry is really like.
Yeah,
it always just made me come back to that point, that if I want to make an identity for myself in this career, I have to become an actor or do something really good that's going to give me exposure on TV, right? And that's what made me that's what made me think that I need to like take up acting and switch and transition totally from modeling to acting. And while I was doing that, I explored many different sort of options of what exactly is I'm going to be interested in, whether movies or serials, etc. I was just exploring, while I ended up having my own production house as well in the meantime and everything. And I made my own music video, produced my own music video, featured in it as well. So there was a lot going on, okay? There was like a lot of modeling offers and acting jobs still coming in my way. But at the same time, I started getting these cricket offers here in the UAE. And I was like, why am I sitting in Bombay and waiting for something that's not really certain or guaranteed? Because I come from a very humble background. I didn't really have any friends or family to, like really, really guide me how to become an actor or go about it, meet the kind of people you need to meet, and what is it exactly that you need to do. Because as you know, it's not that easy for a person who's not coming from that sort of a background. So, why do I wait and waste my time for something that is not really guaranteed? And in front of that, if I'm getting like these really good cricket offers...
Why were you getting good cricket offers?
That was again because of how my life has been so adventurous, that everything I've done in my life has always like never been a part of the plan. It's always come to me in the flow of it, and I would always like meet people through work, and they would like me and recommend me to other people, introduce me to other people.
Oh, so basically like word of mouth. And
literally. So
but you never showed any knack for cricket, or did you ever show interest in sports?
Well, yeah, I mean, as an Indian, you definitely love cricket, I mean, you grow up watching cricket, but I was never really like, you know, a cricket player or as such, like I never really thought that, you know, I want to like become a cricket presenter one day or anything like that. But because I was good at anchoring already, because I was good at public speaking and public appearances, I was confident on camera, I was confident that, yeah, if I go live, I know what am I supposed to do. So only things like that approached towards me to, you know, give me these offers, and they took auditions and they were like, okay, you know what, let's just go for it. There's some tournament that's happening in the next 10 days if you're still in Dubai. And I was coming to Dubai like all the time for my work and friends and family, and just one thing after the other kept falling in place for me in Dubai. And that's the best part about this city, you know, like it's been only what, like over 3 months now that I moved to Dubai completely, and within just these 3 months, all these exciting things are happening for me, right? So it's just been really, really nice and grateful. Yeah, so one of these tournaments that happened fetched me another one, and then another one from that, and some big names, if I could
This
mention.
is what we wanted to talk about, big names. Do you have
cricket
like,
in the UAE?
exactly,
Yes.
and drop the big names. Who have you met? Who have you spoken to? And any kind of amazing memory from those interviews?
Of course, of course. So I did Abu Dhabi T10, which has 6 seasons of the tournament already, and that happens in Abu Dhabi. It used to happen in Sharjah and Dubai earlier as well. And now, if you know, there's this other tournament happening called ILT20, which is like as good as IPL, and people are like going crazy about it and everything. And I'm hosting the team of Adani Group, if you might know, from India, called Gulf Giants. So that is also happening on the side with that. And yeah, I mean, I've met like best of the cricketers from all around the world. You could name people like Dwayne Bravo, to Pollard, to Sheldon Cottrell, to a lot of Indian cricketers like Harbhajan Singh, Yuvraj Singh, and who else? I mean, Suresh Raina. I mean, I can just go on, right? And all of them have become like, you know, buddies and like close friends and everything. And it's crazy because I never thought that I would see myself amongst these people. And they're all like amazing people, you know, like they come from humble backgrounds, and they've also like, you know, worked hard. And being a sports person, you know how it is, like there's so much that it takes and so much that goes behind it, and still they are like so grounded and so humble and so sweet and so entertaining and everything at the same time.
What about like the local scene now, local cricketers, and who are some of the faces to definitely watch out for, and what's happening there?
So the whole UAE team, they're really, really, you know, making big waves in the cricket industry for sure. They're doing the best of the leagues that the world can cover. This ILT20 that I'm talking about is also definitely giving a lot of good exposure to UAE players, which is a really good thing for them, because back then, when there were not many T20 leagues, a lot of cricketers were not getting many opportunities, right? But now, because of the new scenes, all these cricketers are getting like really good exposure and really good opportunities. So definitely from the whole UAE team, I could name people like Chirag Suri and Alishan Shafaru and Sanchit Sharma. And there's so many, like most of them are really amazing players, and I'm sure, like, you know, in the years to come, you'll see them doing the best of the cricket jobs. And at the same time, not just the men team, but at the same time, you know, the under-19 team, and then the under-19 women's team and the main women's team, they're also doing really amazing, I must say. I mean, I've worked with Chaya Mughal, who's the UAE women's team captain, and she has been an inspiration completely, because I must say that, you know, she has an incredible story to share. And definitely the whole women's scene also over here is picking up. The under-19 team just very recently went for World Cup, played against the best of the teams all around the world. They created an identity for themselves at that platform. So definitely it's picking up for them, and, you know, they're doing like really amazing things.
That's so interesting, because before we would hear about the Olympics. I mean, not before, as in right now the UAE and like a lot of sports we're excelling at the Olympics and different fields. So would you say the cricket scene is also picking up quite a lot?
Definitely, because UAE is that region all over the world which is like quite the epicenter, right? And a lot of Indian viewership. And so many players from all around the world are coming here and doing all these leagues, the best of the international names, you could say, and at the same time Indian players, UAE players. So definitely there's a lot of cricket happening over here, and that's what also made me decide that I should move from Mumbai to Dubai if I want to make a career in cricket, because this is the place to be right now for cricket, for sure. There are all these amazing leagues, T20 leagues happening over here. That's going to give me, as well as the cricketers, a lot of good exposure. It's good for the city, it's good for UAE as well. So, it's definitely the place to be.
Well, this is it. You said it's good for you, it's good for the cricketers. And there's one thing that I see from an outsider looking in is the fans' perspective. And UAE cricket fans are so lucky because there's so much going on.
Exactly.
Can you speak of like the fan energy and like the different teams that you watch? Like describe the fan energy when you're at matches.
My God, the fan energy is crazy. Like, those are the people who actually keep you pumped up throughout your long, exhausting days. And I must say, like, when you are at the stadium, seriously, like, you guys should come.
Fan energy coming from her.
No, you guys should come for one of the matches and see how crazy it is in the stadium, because we have these long, exhausting days, a lot of pressure to go live and, like keep a watch on the game of what's happening, keep learning and making notes of what's happening. But the fans and the audience in the background are like always rooting and cheering and howling. And they're like so pumped up all the time. And it's crazy to see how all these really big stadiums like the Abu Dhabi Stadium or the Dubai International Stadium, they're full of people. Like the capacity is so much and it's not easy to fill that. True. But they're like filled up and it's full of people. And it's crazy for me to see that, because I didn't know that, it can be like this. Because on TV, you don't really understand what the vibe is like. But when you're like in there and out there, it's a whole different feeling. Yeah.
Oh my God. So for you, when you get into the field, how does it work? Like you just basically anchor, or you do it from the beginning to the end, or how does it work?
So generally for all these tournaments, what happens is there are flash interviews in between the overs or between two innings of the match, and then there are dugout interviews wherein you go to the dugout of where the players are sitting, you go and interview them. All of this is live broadcast. And apart from that, then we do a lot of digital content like social media behind the scenes content, which is more fun and more quirky, more spontaneous, which even brings out all the fun factor from these cricketers, because you see them all serious and like in that zone when they are on field. But then it's more fun to see them doing all these really cool and funny things off the field. We make them like do dance moves, or we make them play like other sports
with them, because sportsmen are usually so serious.
Exactly.
Right? Like how do you
But I must say they're also the most fun-loving guys, for sure. Yeah, I mean, although they are like so disciplined and so focused and everything, they're men after all, right? I mean, and they're like young boys. They want to have fun. They want to like play and they want to like enjoy, right? Although we see them on TV doing what they do, but they have like this really different side which we would never even imagine. And it's just so crazy to experience that. And I just feel like really super pumped up and happy when I'm doing all these things with them.
You know what? You literally have the dream job of any cricket fan. You are on the pitch,
yeah, for sure,
having the best time with cricketers, like
Definitely.
dream job that you're in right now. So looking ahead, where do you see yourself? Are you going to stay in cricket? Will you stay in the UAE, or what's the dream?
Yeah, so definitely for now I will be in the UAE, do these cricket leagues, and like I said, it's been only about 3-4 months since I moved here, and in the last 1 year only is when I started doing cricket presenting and cricket anchoring. And since then I've done already you could say like the best of the leagues that the UAE has to offer. So I'm looking forward to do the best of the leagues in the world because of the experience that I'm gaining over here. Maybe IPL next, because as we all know, women's IPL is also happening very soon, and then there's men's IPL, which is obviously like the world's greatest one. So yeah, definitely. Like, I mean, right now that's what my focus would be on. And UAE in general has so much to offer, right? Like, even if cricket doesn't happen, unfortunately, in the future, there's just, I feel there's so much to do for the country to offer to me. Because even before I plan to move here, for no reason. I mean, it was just so easy for me to find jobs because there are not as many Indian talents, I must say, or Desi talents for that matter, for what they're looking for. And in Bombay, that's completely a different case, and it's completely a different situation, right? Because every other person, literally, like every other person in Bombay wants to make it big in the Bollywood or modeling industry. So of course, it's like, very different from that scenario and set up to here. And for sure, it's just a lot of opportunities, even if not cricket. But like I was saying, that my life has been completely adventurous every time, and nothing has gone as per plan, or I've never as such planned for anything, and that has always worked for me. So I'm hoping that is how it's always going to be. Yes.
Getting out of your comfort zone, all of that. So let's put you out of your comfort zone now.
Okay.
With a quick game round. So you're quite, in with the cricketers, and you have so much cricket knowledge. So let's put that to test.
My God. Please, guys, whoever, all the tournament organizers are watching me, don't judge me based on this.
It is called the Cricket Lingo Challenge with Namrata Sharma. We're going to play and we're going to name out some cricket lingo and we're going to see if you can tell us what it is.
Let's go for it.
Okay, Namrata Sharma, let's have, what is a duck?
What is a duck?
What is a duck?
Like a Donald Duck?
Nope, a duck.
I'm guessing that it's one of the moves that you do while playing cricket.
Oh my God. I mean, she's not wrong there, right? She's not wrong.
Yeah, I'm sure that's not.
I think
no, it's completely wrong actually.
The answer is a score of 0 made by a batsman. So typically, as a result, is being bowled. So it's a score of 0. Okay, we've got more to go.
Right.
Next one.
I'm already under pressure.
What is a Yorker?
Oh, Yorker. That's like one of the most basic things that a cricketer can, hit. It's like one of these most simplest, or at the same time, a shot that can even get you a 4 or a 6. It's in between, somewhere in between the wicket. And I mean, I don't know how else to explain this, and what other roads do I explain this?
Got that right.
Well, we have, which is what you said, it's a type of delivery, so where it's aimed, delivered low, aiming at the batsman's feet.
So like a safe one.
Yeah,
a safe.
For my audience, in common language, in layman's language, I'm trying to explain it to them.
But that's so good. You got that one. So century.
So one from 2.
Okay, yeah. So next one, century.
Of course, century is when a cricketer makes 100 on field. That's
we have no cricket knowledge.
Not easy for us. I knew a century.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
I heard the word, but I wouldn't have known how to describe it.
It's just easy, Century means what? 100. So yeah, that's what it is.
So basically, it is a score of 100 or more runs made by a batsman in a single innings. That's cool. That's cool. I had no idea.
That's right.
So Namrata has 2 from 3, and the final one.
Yay.
In our challenge, cricket lingo, what is a googly?
No, a googly.
Okay, I was like, is this something that I must know, but I've never heard
of? What's a googly?
So it's a type of a ball that the bowler has bowled, and you could say that the cricketer, the batsman, has not been able to hit it because of the way he's delivered, because of the way the bowler has delivered, and it definitely doesn't go straight to the batsman so that he can hit like a good 4 or 6 or even like a 2, but it's like literally off the mark or off the target.
She knows her cricket. Namrata knows her cricket lingo. 3 from 4.
Not too bad.
Keep the job. We'll keep ours.
Batting it out the park.
Batting it out the park.
Answers.
Would we give you a 6? Is that the highest you can? That is Namrata. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much, guys.
And where can people follow you?
On my Instagram account for sure. That's Namrata Sharma with a double underscore in the end. Yes, please follow me on Instagram and let me keep you guys entertained and updated with cricket and a lot of other things that I enjoy doing in life.
Thank you so much for joining us this morning. That is it for us on the Lovin Dubai show. Goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me.
Bye-bye.